Good morning, and welcome to today's discussion. I'm Claire.
And I'm Alan. We'll be covering several key stories in today's episode.
Let's start with the news of Barney Frank's passing. Barney Frank was a longtime Democratic congressman known for his work on gay rights and financial reform. The reporting indicates he was 86 years old.
That's right. Frank was a significant figure in American politics, particularly in his advocacy for LGBTQ+ rights. He was openly gay, which was quite rare for a politician at the time. What were some of his key contributions, according to the articles?
Well, one of his major achievements was his role in crafting the Dodd-Frank Act, a comprehensive financial reform law passed in response to the 2008 financial crisis. He was also a strong advocate for gay rights, helping to bring visibility to the issue during his time in office.
So his work on financial reform and gay rights are highlighted as major aspects of his legacy. How did his background and personal experience shape his political career and advocacy?
The articles mention that Frank's personal experience as a gay man in politics influenced his advocacy for LGBTQ+ rights. He was a trailblazer in many ways, being one of the first openly gay members of Congress.
That's interesting. His personal experience clearly informed his political work. Let's move on to another story.
In Georgia, Burt Jones and Rick Jackson have advanced to a Republican primary runoff for the governor's race. The reporting indicates this will be a significant contest.
Yes, and it's worth noting that both candidates have notable backgrounds. Burt Jones is the current lieutenant governor of Georgia, while Rick Jackson is a healthcare billionaire. What do we know about their campaign dynamic so far?
The articles suggest that the campaign has been quite bruising. Both candidates have likely positioned themselves strongly within the Republican Party in Georgia. The runoff will determine who faces off against the Democratic candidate in the general election.
So this runoff could have significant implications for the general election. Let's look at another related story.
In Alabama, Senator Tommy Tuberville has secured the Republican nomination for governor, setting up a rematch against former Senator Doug Jones, who won the Democratic primary. This echoes their previous contest in the 2020 Senate race.
That's right. Tuberville's victory in the Republican primary makes him the likely next governor of Alabama, given the state's Republican leanings. What are the key dynamics in this rematch, according to the reporting?
The articles indicate that Tuberville is now positioned as the clear favorite in the general election. The previous Senate race between Tuberville and Jones was highly competitive, so this gubernatorial rematch is likely to be closely watched.
It'll be interesting to see how the campaign unfolds, especially given the previous history between these two candidates. Moving on, let's discuss another story.
Two police officers who defended the Capitol during the January 6 riot have sued to block payouts from a $1.76 billion settlement fund. This fund is intended for individuals claiming to be victims of politically motivated prosecutions.
That's a sensitive issue. The officers are concerned that the fund could be used to support individuals involved in the January 6 riot. What are the main arguments being made in this lawsuit?
The officers argue that allowing payouts to individuals involved in the riot would be inappropriate. The lawsuit seeks to prevent such payouts from the settlement fund.
So the central issue here is the potential misuse of the settlement fund. How does this relate to the broader context of the January 6 riot and its aftermath?
This lawsuit is part of the ongoing legal and political fallout from the January 6 attack. It highlights the continued tensions and debates surrounding the event and its consequences.
Let's examine one more story.
The U.S. military recently boarded an Iranian-flagged oil tanker in the Gulf of Oman, suspected of trying to violate an American blockade. This action reflects ongoing tensions between the U.S. and Iran.
That's right. The U.S. Central Command reported on the operation. What were the specific circumstances surrounding the boarding of the tanker?
According to the reporting, the tanker was suspected of attempting to breach the blockade. The U.S. military intervened to address this perceived violation.
So this incident is part of the broader maritime security and sanctions enforcement efforts in the region. How does this fit into the current geopolitical landscape?
This action is consistent with the U.S. efforts to enforce sanctions and maintain maritime security. It reflects the ongoing tensions and competition between the U.S. and Iran.
As we wrap up today's discussion, it's clear that these stories cover a range of significant issues, from political legacy and elections to legal challenges and geopolitical tensions.
Indeed, each of these stories offers insights into the complex dynamics at play in American politics and international relations. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Claire, and thank you to our listeners for tuning in.
Until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.